Thank you all so much for being here. Gigi would have most likely become the best player in the WNBA.
We promise to carry Gigi's legacy.
Kobe was the MVP of Girl Dads.
When Kobe Bryant died, a piece of me died.
I love you, my man, till we meet again.
Rest in peace, little brother.
Babe, you take care of our Gigi. And I got Nani, Bibi, and Coco. We're still the best team. We love and miss you, Boo Boo and Gigi. Forever and always. Mommy.
Those are some emotional sentiments from yesterday's memorial, which celebrated the life of Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and the other 7 victims of the helicopter crash nearly a month ago, filled with laughs, filled with cries. Stephen A., your final thoughts from the Kobe Memorial?
Well, I think that, Vanessa Bryant was sensational. She stole the show, the level of strength, with her eloquence, the way she got up there and spoke in front of nearly 20,000 people. She was absolutely phenomenal. And she just personified, has validated all the love, the devotion, and the praise that Kobe aimed in her direction throughout the years. He always raved about how much he loved her. He raved about what a wonderful wife and mother that she was, that she is, and, will always be, of course. And, he just talked about how she was his better half and was his best friend. And we saw why yesterday. And I think that went a long way. I also got to give major, major praise to Michael Jordan, to Shaquille O'Neal as well. Both of them going up there speaking, Gino Auriemma and Diana Taurasi, and the wonderful lady from, how do you pronounce her name? Ionesco?
Ionesco? Yeah,
yes,
Sabrina.
Yes,
yep.
Sabrina, she was wonderful as well. And then she goes out there and performs last night and sets her NCAA record as well. Just a lot of great, great stories. But in the end, what it really, really comes down to is that the NBA community, the basketball world came together to say goodbye to Kobe Bryant. He'll never be forgotten. He'll always be remembered in the most fondest of ways because he was a champion. He put in the work. He was dedicated. He was focused. And in the end, he touched so many lives because he was committed to being a better version of himself. He was committed to helping others. And obviously, he had an affection for a lot of young ladies out there in terms of helping them elevate themselves and their profile to showcase for his daughters and beyond that you could be whatever you want to be in this world. So it was truly a great day, sad, but happy. Obviously, closure for a lot of people, but there will never be closure for Vanessa and the children left behind by Kobe and Gigi. And so all you could do is just tell them you love them and that you'll do your part, whatever that may be, in order to be there for them in the best way that you possibly can.
Kobe was always the little brother champing at the bit to be the lead guy on his team with Shaq, and in the larger sense, in the pantheon of NBA legends with Jordan. And on the Lakers, he got his own team eventually, improved his point, and he never stopped going at Jordan. And you could see where both Shaq and MJ feel like they lost a little brother. And then he finally, had his own family where he was the father, and obviously an extraordinary one, according to all accounts, especially Vanessa's, who will be my lasting impression of this memorial. Vanessa, especially the line at the end, her description of the bedtime routine with the kids. If you're a father with kids, especially little girls, that was difficult to hear. And then the line, Molly, you pointed it out to start the show.
Yeah.
We're still the best team.
Yeah,
That
and even
was,
before that, just saying that God knew they couldn't be on this earth without each other, so he had to bring them home together.
Yeah. It was a powerful, moving moment. Yeah.
And it really resonated. And I think to say that, I'm going to hold it down here. I got you. I got these 3 girls, and you take care of Gigi, and we're still the best team. Listen, you guys are two of the best of the business, and she got up in front of 20,000 people. This isn't her job. She doesn't public speak. The most dire circumstances. And she was eloquent. She was graceful. I mean, the poise. It was absolutely incredible. And same thing you said, Stephen A. Now we see why he adored her so much. We're looking for the beauty in it, but it's tough. It really is.
Well, you know, it's a 13-year-old. She's gone, along with 3 other teammates that were around her age. And so that's incredibly sad as well. And remember that nobody at the memorial service forgot about them either. No. All of those folks were mentioned, and everybody was mindful and cognizant enough to make sure they reminded everybody that Kobe Bryant and his wonderful, beautiful daughter, those were not the only lives that were lost in that helicopter crash.
And I just want to say really quickly, because this is a sports show, and you brought up Gina Auriemma, and we saw Diana Taurasi, we saw Sabrina Ionescu, and that just showed you those relationships that he had in terms of, we talked about coaching Gigi, but they really were working on elevating the women's game, women's sports, and equality. And I don't think a lot of us recognize that until this tragedy happened. And it's really
Molly, I'm glad you said
their work was cut short. And I know Vanessa will try to carry that on. Yep.
I'm glad you said that. You know, I found out about this when we came on the air and talked about it after it happened. Bringing my eldest daughter, my 11-year-old, to basketball practice. And I don't, drop her off. I stay there. I watch the game. I watch the practice. I'm shouting encouragement to her and all that stuff she's working on. And there was absolutely a connection that I felt as the father of a daughter who's playing basketball, that Kobe and his daughter and his interest in his daughter's kind of athletic development, it loomed large that day over the whole gym, over the whole program. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, it's tough, really tough. We are going to try to move on here and make a transition back to sports, so bear with me, everyone, and let's talk a little football. So the Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is still without a new deal, and last week Cowboys legend Emmitt Smith made news by suggesting he should take less money so the team can sign other players besides him, and that Dak could make the rest in endorsements. Another Cowboy great, he used to work here, Darren Woodson, expressed his disagreement to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Let's take a listen to that.
It's a slap in the face for people to say that he should take less. That's a slap in that man's face, because they're not out here, and I'm watching every day. My office oversees that field, that practice field. Every day, there ain't nobody on that team that works harder than Dak Prescott. He's putting the work in. The man deserves it.
Max, we all know Darren very well. Think highly of him. He's close to the situation. Do you agree with him on the sentiments regarding Dak Prescott?
I don't. I know what he means, but I don't agree, because you have to think about this rationally. The way we approach this, because it's a cap league, is always like, well, never mind whatever anyone else is going to get paid. That'll work out itself. You got to go get yours. That's true. That is true from Dak's point of view. He's trying to get his. He's not responsible for, well, let me give them a discount so I can have a better team around me. That's a choice he has to make. If he wants the money, go get it. Get everything you can. Nothing wrong with that. But it's not a slap in the face to him if the team wants him to take less, or if a fan does. They're not saying, hey, Dak, we don't want you to have all the money in the world. They do, I'm sure, if they have any decency. It's that.
As a freak of nature, what you're looking at is a man-child, the likes of which you may not have seen since LeBron James.
Certainly the most anticipated NBA debut since LeBron James.
I think the comparison thing will never stop, but I think it's great for the game.
I don't try to live up to nobody's expectations. I'm looking to just be the best Zion I can be.
The phenomenon is taken over. Welcome to the NBA!
There is nobody in this building that is sitting down.
Hey, welcome back to First Take, coming to you live from the Seaport District at Pier 17, brought to you by Chase. Pelicans phenom Zion Williamson has been delivering on the hype during his abbreviated rookie season. The #1 overall pick is averaging just under 23 points and 7 rebounds per game. Compare that with LeBron's rookie season, and you see that so far Zion is leading the King in scoring, rebounding, and a much higher field goal percentage. Kendrick Perkins back here with us to help break it down. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Stephen A., more impressive rookie season thus far. Are you going Team Zion or Team LeBron?
I'm going Team LeBron regardless of the numbers because it's not just about numbers. I'm looking at your game. When I look at Zion Williams, he's a man amongst boys. You can't teach 280. You just can't. And we know that he's a Goliath. He's a massive young man, and his strength is phenomenal. And you can see him rip the ball again away the other night. You see him elevate. You see him finish at the basket. You see people moving out of his way. There's no question about that. He had 4 3-pointers, however, his first game of the season, and then didn't hit another 3-pointer until the other night. When I watched LeBron play during his rookie year in 2003, remember the game was different then. Remember, it was still more physical than it is today. Remember that we didn't just look at LeBron James in terms of his athleticism, his abilities in the open court. What we also monitored was his ball handling skills, his playmaking ability. We saw almost immediately you started drawing up those comparisons to a potential Magic Johnson, but with more athleticism. And so when you look at it from that perspective, being as cerebral as he was, having an understanding of the game, the intellect for the game that LeBron James had, you saw that him coming straight out of high school, and that's what you marveled at. You knew the athleticism was there. You knew his game would ultimately improve, but the game was more physical then. Obviously, you look at the level of competition, the way the game was policed,